Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. I just wanted to go over quickly a couple things with coloring digitally for this next part of our assignment. So you'll see on the screen that I have a comic book that I had found on the internet, and I have it in Sumo Paint. You're welcome to use a different app or Photoshop if you're more comfortable with that. But to get going in Sumo Paint, what you're going to do is you're going to either take a picture and open the picture in Sumo Paint, or you can scan it if you've got a printer that can scan. But you got to get the image digitally into Sumo Paint, that final sketch of yours. Also, make sure your final sketch has really solid, completed black lines. It'll make it easier when you go to color it. So the first thing I'm going to do in Sumo Paint is I'm going to go down to my layer panel on the bottom right, and I am going to add a new layer, and I'm going to move it underneath the background layer. Okay. This is going to allow me to click on the background that has my thumbnail of my final sketch or your final sketch on it, and I'm going to change it from normal to multiply. This will allow us to only see the lines and be able to add color on the layer underneath. Now on this layer, there's a few things you can do. You can grab the brush and you can come in. You can choose your paint. So say I'm going to do a blue sky. I'm going to use the color picker and choose a blue. And I can go in, I can zoom in with the magnifier, and I can color it. And then I'm just sort of careful what brush I use and the size of the brush and such. And I can go in and I can kind of carefully colorize. I can also, on the layer above, I can use the magic wand tool in the toolbox. I can click on an area, and then I can go back to layer 1, because this is where we want our color to be. Choose a brush, and I can go in and I can color. Now, if your shapes are not fully enclosed, you might have sort of more than one area that is sort of selected. So you still might have to be careful. And then I'm going to deselect by right-clicking. And you can go in and color like that. You can also use the paint bucket tool to color in those areas as well. Okay. Now, if you have a lot of areas like this, where it's sort of like the sky bleeds into the grass, there's another technique that you can do. And what you're going to do is actually go to your background layer, and you are going to right click on it, and you are going to duplicate it. And then on this background layer, you're going to want this to be normal because you want to actually see your colors. But now you can actually grab that paint bucket and you can go in and you can start to apply colors. Now you'll notice again, some of these areas have sort of lines that don't fully enclose into shapes like here. So you'll notice that you might have to go back with the paintbrush and you'll have to color those differently using the brush with here. Let's do gold. And then you're going to go in and colorize. Now the text is already on here and it's written down. But if you don't have text, all you have to do is click on the top layer, add a new layer, grab the text tool, and you can type in what you need for your thought bubbles. Okay, and then you can move them around, change the size and such like that. Okay, so remember, you've got two ways of working. One, you can just sort of make a new layer underneath, like what we did here with layer 1, and you can go in and you can paint underneath your lines. You can also make a background copy copy of your sketch, and you can go in and fill it in with a paint bucket and such like that. Just remember, once you get a full like color on everything, you're gonna potentially want to go back in and add some highlights and some shadows and some things like that to give maybe your characters in such a little bit more dimension. You have 2 days to work on this. When you're done, make sure you save it and then you attach the file to the Google Classroom assignment. All right, good luck, everyone.